Nouhad Wadie Haddad, known as Fairouz, Arabic, Euro plus or minus euro squared a euro, also spelled Feyrouz, Fairouz or Fayrouz, is a Lebanese singer who is one of the most widely admired and deeply respected living singers in the Arab world. Her songs are constantly heard throughout the region. She was first noticed at the International Festival of Baalbeck, where she performed many of her songs. She became famous after appearing on the Lebanese Nights part of the festival for many successive years. Fayrouz is commonly known as Ambassador to the Stars, Neighbor to the Moon, and the Jewel of Lebanon. Personal life: Fayrouz was born to a Lebanese family that is Christian Maronite and Syriac Orthodox. She is of the Eastern Orthodox Christian faith, having converted when she married Assi Raghbani, one of the two Raghbani brothers who had helped shape her singing career. She is also the mother of a Lebanese singer and composer Ziad Raghbani and of Lebanese director and photographer Rima Raghbani. Also Haley, her second son who is disabled, and Lael, her third daughter who died in 1988. Fayrouz sings to describe the beauty, peace and freedom of Lebanon. This is especially mentioned in her song, Tidlaj Eldni, in which she sings, Taljak el Mayabu Shamsak el Hooray. Nonetheless, the Good Friday is an annual ceremony that is set as a tradition by Fayrouz, who has been holding the ceremony at different churches from all over Lebanon, concentrating on abandoned churches according to the Eastern Orthodox and Maronite liturgies. Biography = 1935 1950s The early years = Nouhad Haddad was born on November 20, 1934 in Lebanon into a Maronite and Syriac Orthodox family. The family later moved into a home in a cobblestone alley called Zakkel Blat in Beirut. Living in a single room of a typical Lebanese stone house facing Beirut's Eastern Orthodox Patriarchate School, they shared a kitchen with the neighbors. Her father Wada was a Lebanese of the Syriac Orthodox faith, and worked as a typesetter in a print shop. Lisa, her mother, also Lebanese, but Maronite Christian, stayed home and took care of her four children, Nouhad, Yasf, Houda and Amal. Nouhad was a shy child and did not have many friends at school. However, she was very attached to her grandmother who lived in Debi, where Nouhad used to spend her summer holidays. Nouhad seemed to enjoy the rural village life. During the day, Nouhad would help her grandmother with house chores and fetch fresh water from a nearby water spring. She would sing all the way to the spring and back. In the evening, Nouhad would sit by the candlelight with her grandmother, who would tell her stories. By the age of 10, Nouhad was already known at school for her unusual singing voice. She would sing regularly during school shows and on holidays. This was how she came to the attention of Mohammed Flifl, a well-known musician and a teacher at the Lebanese Conservatory, who happened to attend one of the school's shows in February 1950. Impressed by her voice and performance, he advised her to enroll in the conservatory, which she did. At first, Nouhad's conservative father was reluctant to send her to the conservatory. However, he eventually allowed her to go on condition that her brother accompany her. That having been said, Nouhad's family as a whole encouraged her in her musical career. Mohammed Flifl took a close interest in Nouhad's talent. Among other things, he taught her to recite verses from the Quran. On one occasion, Nouhad was heard singing by Halim el-Rumi, head of the Lebanese radio station and a prominent musician in his own right. Rumi was impressed by her voice and noticed that it had a rare flexibility that allowed her to sing both Arabic and Western modes admirably. At Nouhad's request, el-Rumi appointed her as a chorus singer at the radio station in Beirut and went on to compose several songs for her. He chose for her the stage name Fairouz, which is the Arabic word for turquoise. A short while later, Fayrouz was introduced to the Raghbani brothers, Assi and Mansour, who also worked at the radio station as musicians, and they discovered her talent. The chemistry was instant, and soon after, Assi started to compose songs for Fayrouz, one of which was Itib, which was an immediate smash hit in all of the Arab world, establishing Fayrouz as one of the most prominent Arab singers on the Arabic music scene. Assi and Fayrouz were married on January 23, 1955. Fayrouz and Assi had four children: Ziad, a musician and a composer, Lael, Harley and Rima, a photographer and film director. Feyrouz's first large-scale concert was in 1957, as part of the Baalbeck International Festival, which took place under the patronage of the Lebanese President Camille Chamoun. She performed alongside the British prima ballerina Beryl Goldwyn and the ballet Rambut. Feyrouz was paid £1 Lebanese for that show. Musical operettas and concerts followed for many years, eventually establishing Feyrouz as one of the most popular singers in Lebanon and throughout the Arab world. 1960s The establishment of a new star as the 1960s wore on, Feyrouz became known as the First Lady of Lebanese Singing, as Halim Rumi dubbed her. During this period the Rahbani brothers wrote and composed for her hundreds of famous songs, most of their operettas, and 3 motion pictures. In 1969, Feyrouz's songs were banned from the radio stations in Lebanon for 6 months because she refused to sing at a private concert in honor of Algerian President Houari Boumediene. The incident only served to increase her popularity. Feyrouz made it clear then and since that while always willing to sing to her public and to various countries and regions, she would never sing to any individual. 1970s International fame and war in Lebanon In 1971, Feyrouz's fame became international after her major North American tour, which was received with much excitement by the Arab American and American community and yielded very positive reviews of the concerts. On September 22, 1972, Assi suffered a brain hemorrhage and was rushed to the hospital. Fans crowded outside the hospital praying for him and lighting candles. After 3 surgeries, Assi's brain hemorrhage was halted. Ziad Rahbani, the eldest son of Fayrouz and Assi, at age 16, gave his mother the music of one of his unreleased songs Akado al-Hilween, and his uncle Mansour Rahbani rewrote new lyrics for it to be called Say Alawni and Nas, which talked about Fayrouz being on stage for the first time without Assi. 3 months after suffering the hemorrhage, Assi attended the premiere performance of that musical El Mahata in Piccadilly Theatre on Hamra Street. Elias Rahbani, Assi's younger brother, took over the orchestration and musical arrangement for the performance. Feyrouz made her first European TV appearance on French TV on May 24, 1975, in a Carpentier special show called Numero 1 dedicated to French star Myral Mathieu. She sang one of her big hits Habaytak by Zef, and was thanked and embraced after performing it by Myral Mathieu. Within a year, Assi had returned to composing and writing with his brother. They continued to produce musicals, which became increasingly political in nature. After the Lebanese civil war erupted, the brothers continued to use political satire and sharp criticism in their plays. In 1977, their musical Petra was shown in both the Muslim western and Christian eastern portions of Beirut. In 1978, the trio toured Europe and the Persian Gulf nations, including a concert at the Paris Olympia. As a result of this busy schedule, Asha unregistered trademark S medical and mental health began to deteriorate. Feyrouz and the brothers agreed to end their professional and personal relationship in 1979. Feyrouz began to work with a production team helmed by her son, Ziad Rahbani, and Assi and Mansour composed for other artists such as Ronza. During the Lebanese Civil War, Feyrouz never left Lebanon to live abroad and did not hold any concerts there with the exception of the stage performance of the operetta Petra, which was performed in both the western and eastern parts of the then divided Beirut in 1978. However, during that time period, Feyrouz held many very successful and record-breaking concerts and tours in numerous countries around the world. 1980s A new production team After the artistic divorce between Feyrouz and the Rahbani brothers in 1979, Feyrouz carried on with her son, composer Ziad Rahbani, his friend the lyricist Joseph Harbour, and composer Philemon Wiebe. Feyrouz made a second and final European television appearance on French TV on October 13, 1988 in a show called Du Qatar copyright de chez Fred. Feyrouz, who had scheduled a concert at the POPB of Paris Bercy Concert Hall 3 days later on October 16, was the main guest of French TV presenter Fra Copyright d'Art Copyright Rick Mitterrand, today France's Minister of Culture. The program features footage of her rehearsals for her concert at Bercy in addition to the ceremony featuring then-French Minister of Culture Jacques Lang awarding Fayrouz the Medal of Commandeur des Arts et des Lettres. It also includes a video montage of her previous movies and concerts. In that show, Fayrouz also sang the 3 songs Yaouria Copyright, Yara, and Zulitawal. 1990 ZAR Euro present equals. In the 1990s, Fayrouz produced 6 albums and held a number of large-scale concerts, most notably the historic concert held at Beirut's Martyrs Square in September 1994 to launch the rebirth of the downtown district that was ravaged by the civil war. She appeared at the Baalbeck International Festival in 1998 after 25 years of self-imposed absence, where she performed the highlights of 3 very successful plays that were presented in the 1960s and 1970s. She also performed a concert in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Arena in 1999, which was attended by over 16,000 spectators, mostly Arabs. Ever since, Fayrouz has held sold-out concerts at the Beatidine International Festival from 2000 to 2003, Kuwait, Paris, the United States, Amman, Montreal, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Baalbeck, BIEL, Athens, Amman, Damascus, and Bahrain. Fayrouz now works exclusively with her composer son Ziad. Her first album in the new millennium, Wala Keef, was released in 2002. On January 28, 2008, Fayrouz performed at the Damascus Opera House in an emotional return to the Syrian capital, where she played the lead role in the musical Zar El Nom, after more than 2 decades of absence from the country, in one of a series of events highlighting UNESCO's designation of Damascus as the capital of Arab culture that year. Commenting on the event, the BBC wrote, "Every day the sun rises over Syria, you hear one voice across the country, Fayrouz, the legendary Lebanese singer and greatest living Arab diva." Syrian historian, Sami Moubaid, said that the Syrians were thrilled about the performance and that Fayrouz reminded them of the good old days. People from all ages attended the concert and the auditorium was packed with listeners. Fayrouz said that she had never seen such an audience in her life. However, her decision to perform there drew criticism from Lebanese politicians who considered Syria to be a hostile nation. Fayrouz's new album entitled A Fiamma was released on October 7, 2010, produced by Fayrouz Productions and written entirely by Ziad Rakhbani. 2 concerts took place at BIEL Center in Beirut, Lebanon on 7th and 8th October. Later a concert in Bahrain was cancelled in March 2011. She performed in Netherlands for the first time in Amsterdam on June 26, 2011. Fayrouz's last appearance on stage was in Platiya, Jounieh, Hera Sorkla in December 2011, where she had 6 concerts extending from 9 to 23 December 2011. Controversies and alleged political affiliations. The 2008 concert in Damascus angered some of her fans and several Lebanese politicians who described Syria as enemy territory in the grip of a brutal secret police force. Walid Jumblat, leader of the Druze Progressive Socialist Party, accused Fayrouz of playing into the hands of Syrian intelligence services, while fellow party member Akram Shihab said that those who love Lebanon do not sing for its jailers, in reference to the 3 decades-long Syrian occupation of Lebanon. Even some Syrian opposition activists called on her to boycott the event. This came amid a political crisis in Lebanon between pro- and anti-Syria factions, as well as a renewed Syrian government crackdown on dissent that same day, during which several people were arrested, including opposition figure Riyad Sif and 12 other activists of the anti-government Damascus Declaration. A poll conducted a week before the concert by Now Lebanon, a Lebanese web portal sympathetic to the anti-Syria March 14 alliance, showed that 67% of the respondents were opposed to Fayrouz's appearance in Damascus, with one of the website's editorial saying that this was not the moment for a musical love-in. Fayrouz refrained from commenting on the controversy. However, in a letter to the event's organizers, she said that the concert should be viewed from a cultural perspective, and wrote, "Damascus is not a cultural capital for this year only, but will remain a role model of art, culture and authenticity for the coming generations." She also told the head of the organizers that she felt it was a return to her second home. Syrian commentator Ayman Abdullah said that Fayrouz was performing to the Syrian people, not their rulers. Her brother-in-law and former partner Mansour Raghbani also defended her decision to perform there, saying it was a message of love and peace from Lebanon to Syria. Since many of the Raghbani's works were co-written by Asir's brother Mansour, in June 2010, a year after Mansour's death in January 2009, a Lebanese court banned Fayrouz from singing material that involved his contributions. The issue began when Mansour's children filed a lawsuit against Fayrouz when she was set to perform the song Yesh Yesh at the Casino du Liban. As a result, Fayrouz could not perform such works without Mansour's children's permission. The court's decision led to protests around the world in response to what her fans perceived as an act of silencing. Hundreds gathered in front of the National Museum of Beirut, led by a number of Arab artists, including Egyptian actress Ilham Chahin, who flew to Lebanon in order to join the sit-in. She is a great artistic personality who has entertained millions for decades. We cannot keep silent over this humiliating attitude to her, and to art and artists in general. Fayrouz to me is above all laws. She is like the mother whom, even when she errs, we are eager to forgive, Chahin added. Ian Black wrote on The Guardian, outrage over her silencing has been a reminder of the extraordinary loyalty she still inspires across the region. Other reactions included a protest concert in Egypt, and a shame headline displayed by Emirati newspaper Al-Itshad. Fayrouz's son, Ziad Raghbani, sparked controversy in December 2013 during an interview with the Al-Anet website when asked whether his mother shared the same supportive stance as his on the political vision of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, a dominant but highly controversial political and military force in Lebanon. Ziad replied, "Fayrouz is very fond of Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, although she will be displeased with me, as she was after my last television interview, when I revealed some personal information and she quickly interrupted me." There were strong reactions to this statement, which went viral on social media, and the country's different media outlets did not deviate from their political stances when reacting to Ziad's words. Politicians and celebrities stepped in as well, some of whom objected to affiliating Fayrouz to one side of Lebanon's political divide over another, including Druze leader Walid Jumblat, who said, "Fayrouz is too great to be criticized, and at the same time too great to be classified as belonging to this or that political camp. Let us keep her in her supreme position, and not push her to something she has nothing to do with," Jumblat added. Ziad, who claims to speak on his mother's behalf, because she prefers to remain silent, responded to his critics by saying, "Apparently it is an unregistered trademark T allowed in the age of strife for the princess of classy Arab art to voice love for the master of resistance." Nasrallah, commenting on the issue during a speech, stated, "An educated, highly respected thinker and artist, who maybe espouse different ideologies, might disagree with you on political matters, but personally have a fondness for you, because of your character, conduct, sacrifices and so on. If such a person were to say that he or she liked someone, then all hell would break loose." However, on December 2013, and after all the controversy, Rima Raghbani, who is a close aide to Fayrouz, and her daughter, who lives with her, wrote on her Facebook page that no one can speak for their mother, and she criticized her brother, Ziad Raghbani, for pulling Fayrouz into a Oeth Narawales of Lebanese politics a For 1 year, the statements of Ziad Raghbani, after it was publicized, has caused Fayrouz to refuse to communicate with her son despite his continuous demands to do so. Live concerts. Fayrouz has performed in many countries around the globe including Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, France, United Kingdom, Switzerland, Netherlands, Greece, Canada, United States, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Australia, and her home country Lebanon. Fayrouz has performed in many venues such as the Royal Albert Hall in London in 1962, the New York Carnegie Hall in 1971, the London Palladium in 1978, l'Olympia de Paris in 1979, London's Royal Festival Hall in 1986, the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Among many others. Fayrouz has yielded record-breaking performances in many concerts she has held around the world. Fayrouz, Assi, and Mansour have become the most famous and dominant music production phenomenon in the Arab world, and their music has spread beyond the Arab world to Europe, the Americas, and Australia. Of Fayrouz's numerous concerts, few are officially released. They are the Damascus 1960, Olympia 1979 concert, USA Tour 1981, Jarash 1983, Royal Festival Hall London 1986, USA Tour 1987, Baalbeck 1998, Las Vegas 1999 concert, Beatidine 2000 and Dubai 2001. Pirated versions of other concerts exist, Kuwait 1966, Syria and Egypt 1976, Olympia 1979, Australia 1984, Syria 1985, Bahrain 1987, France 1988, Kuwait 1989, Cairo 1989, London 1994, Beirut 1994, and parts of the four Beatidine concerts, parts of Dubai concerts, Paris 2002, Amman 2004, Canada 2005, parts of the play Zar-e-Norm which was performed in Beirut, Athens 2007 and Bahrain 2008. On June 26, 2011 Fayrouz performed in the Royal Car Theatre in Amsterdam, Netherlands. On December 2011, Fayrouz performed 5 concerts on Platia Theatre in Sahel Alma in Lebanon, on 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th and 23rd December, where the theatre accommodates approximately 4,000 persons. Theatrical works, musical plays or operettas were the cornerstone works of the Raghbani trio, Fayrouz, Assi and Mansour. The Raghbani brothers produced 25 popular musical plays over a period of more than 30 years. They were possibly the first to produce world-class Arabic musical theatre. The musicals combined storyline, lyrics and dialogue, musical composition varying widely from Lebanese folkloric and rhythmic modes to classical, westernized, and oriental songs, orchestration, and the voice and acting of Fayrouz. She played the lead roles alongside singers-actors Nazri Shamsiddin, Wada El-Safi, Antoine Kerbej, Elie Shahri, Hoda, William Haswani, Raja Badr, Shyam Chamas, Georgette Say and many others. The Raghbani plays expressed patriotism, unrequited love and nostalgia for village life, comedy, drama, philosophy, and contemporary politics. The songs performed by Fayrouz as part of the plays have become immensely popular among the Lebanese and Arabs around the world. The Fayrouz-Raghbani collaboration produced the following musicals: Ayyam al-Hassat, Al-Azfila Euro Unregistered Trademark Kenya, Alba al-Bakila Euro 1961, Jizr al-Amma, Audit el-Askar, Al-Lail Walkandil, by Iya al-Kawaitam, Ayyam Fakhdeen, Halawal Malik, Ach Kax, Jibal al-Sawn, Yeich, Zar-e-Norm, Nas Minwara, Nacharit al-Mafashit, Al-Mahatta, Lulu Euro 1974, Mayel Reem, Petra Euro 1977 Euro 1978. Most of the musical plays were recorded and videotaped. 18 of them have been officially released on audio CD, 2 on DVD. A pirated version of Petra and 1 pirated live version of Mayel Reem in black and white exist. Ayyam al-Hassat was never recorded and Al-Azfila Euro Unregistered Trademark Kenya has not yet been released. Competition on singing, Fayrouz emerged at a time when the field was already crowded with formidable competitors. These included Najat al-Saghira, Warda al-Jazeera, Sabah, Faiza Ahmed, Shadia, and others. Filmography Television Lebanese television has featured appearances by Fayrouz in the following television programs: Al-Iswara, Dayat el-Agani, Layoli Assad, Al-Quds Fil Bal, Tafater el-Lail, Mor al-Hikayat, Zarat Hob, Xaitat Hob, also presented as a musical show in Baalbeck in 1973. Other television programs and appearances have been recorded for Syrian and Lebanese TV alike, though neither these nor the ones mentioned above are available. Discography Fayrouz possesses a large repertoire of around 1,500 songs, out of which only about 800 have been released. She has also been offered prestigious awards and titles over the years. Around 85 Fayrouz CDs, vinyls and cassettes have been officially released so far. Most of the songs that are featured on these albums were composed by the Raghbani brothers. Also featured are songs by Nouhad Wadie, Ziad Raghbani, Zaki Nassif, Muhammad Abd al-Wahhab, Najib Hankash and Muhammad Muzan. Many of Fayrouz's numerous unreleased works date back to the 1950s and 1960s and were composed by the Raghbani brothers. A Fayrouz album composed by Egyptian musician Riyad al-Sunbati was produced in 1980, but is unlikely to be released. There are also 15 unreleased songs composed by Nouhad Wadie and 24 unreleased songs composed by Ziad Raghbani in the 1980s. Fayrouz has also released an album on Folkways Records, entitled Lebanon, the Baalbeck Folk Festival. Style: in her performances, she is hieratic and melancholic, standing motionless in front of the microphone. When questioned by Neil McFarquhar about her seriousness, she answered that she still feels stage fright. She claims to sing as if she were praying. References. External links. Fayrouz official website, Fayrouz songs lyrics, with information on musicians lyricists, Fayrouz discography and music, Fayrouz in the New York Times.